How you doing, everybody? It's your boy Infected One and welcome to my Stalker 2 Anomaly tier list. In this tier list we're gonna rate all common anomalies, not the arch anomalies or anything like that, the common anomalies which you can find anywhere in the zone. We encountered them all, we love them, we hate them, they're anomalies. So we're gonna be sorting the anomalies in the tier list based on 5 parameters. Parameter number 1 is gonna be damage. Obviously you will wanna know if the anomaly is damaging or not. Does it hurt a lot? Is it just a small little boo-boo? And so on and so forth. Parameter number 2 is gonna be avoidability. How easy it is to avoid the anomaly. Does it reset when you throw a ball in it? Does it follow you around? In simple terms, how easy is it to not get hit by it when you go into a field of anomalies, okay? That's the base point for avoidability. Number 3 is artifacts. Does this anomaly usually spawn artifacts in an anomaly field? Is it only there to bother us? Is its sole purpose of the anomaly is to just not give and only take? Parameter number 4 is simple, it's visibility. Is it easy to see the anomaly, or is it hiding in the shadows, or is it hiding in plain sight? And finally, parameter number 5, it's my personal opinion, it's my personal experience in the zone with said anomaly and just how I feel about it in general. Now a tiny second before we start, please go down, hit the like button. It really helps me so much. If you're not subscribed and you like hardcore gaming, Stalker 2 in general, hit the sub button too. Both of them are free and they help me immensely. You don't even understand how much you clicking a button helps small creators like me become humongous. And I really appreciate it, and I will touch your toes. So yeah, I would appreciate it dearly, and let's dive straight into the thing. Okay everybody, this is the tier list, this is us, this is the anomalies. They're sorted from categories. We're gonna get electrical, fire anomalies, toxic anomalies, and gravitational anomalies at the end. Okay, so the Electra anomaly is first. Damage wise, this shit hurts. Okay, we're losing points already. You step on this thing, it's not damage over time. It's an instant electrical blast which does a lot of damage. Now the avoidability parameter does some favors to this anomaly because you can reset it with throwing a bolt, which gives you like 2 to 3 seconds of no anomaly, which you can go through safely. But in a field full of these, you throw the bolt, you don't go through in time, you get zapped, you start running because you're panicking, and then you get zapped again by some other anomaly. It might prove difficult. Panic running through a field of Electras, it's not something which is foreign for me. And also the borders of this anomaly are not very obvious. Now on parameter number 3, it does spawn artifacts. It's the only electrical anomaly that actually spawns artifacts in the game. It gets points for that. They're usually easy to yoink out of it. You figure out which Electra spawns the artifact in the field, you throw a bolt in it, you run through it, the artifact spawns, you grab it while running, and you're out. Now visibility wise, this anomaly is fairly easy to see. Sometimes it might bug out and the little electric key thingies are not showing, but in most cases it's easy to see, it's easy even to hear. You hear the little zappy noise and you know. Now in my personal opinion, the Electra is a classic, it's a good anomaly. You can avoid it, you can reset it, you can easily spot it, but it does do a lot of damage, and like I said, I am no stranger of panicking in a field of Electras and getting zapped twice and dying, okay? So I will place this anomaly at B tier. That's my decision. Okay, next up we got the Tesla anomaly. The Tesla anomaly is the other electrical anomaly in the game. It's the one that seems sentient and always follows you around. Damage wise, it does the same damage as an Electra, but it follows you around if you have artifacts on your belt. Which brings us to the second parameter, avoidability. If you know the trick and you don't put any artifacts on your belt, it does not follow you. So the avoidability is pretty easy unless you're in like a close quarters situation and you don't have a lot of maneuverability. But as long as you don't have artifacts on your belt, this thing won't follow you. It will just do his floaty aroundy thingy and you'll be safe. So it's pretty easy to avoid. Now this thing doesn't spawn any artifacts, it's useless piece of shit, it's just there to hurt you. And on the visibility wise, you can see it pretty easy. It's a floating ball of electricity, nothing sneaky over there. In my opinion, this thing is just here to annoy you and hurt your feelings. It doesn't do anything good, there's no benefits to it, and if you don't know how to avoid it, it might be very annoying. So Tesla anomaly goes to D tier. The only reason it's not F because it's easy to see, and if you don't know the trick of how to avoid it, you'll probably get planted by electricity in your face. Now moving on to the fire anomalies, we got the burner. Just like the name implies, the damage, it burns. It does a lot of damage, not as much as the Electra because it's more like a burning over time effect. If you get this geyser of fire up your ass, it could hurt a lot. And not only that, the geyser itself, it's not the only thing that damages you. The heat of the Anomaly standing next to it also does fire damage over time to your character. Now avoidability wise, you throw some bolts, this thing spawns out of thin air, and you go around the fire. You still get damage. The avoidability there is kinda hard because if you go into a field of them and you throw a bunch of bolts, you might still step in one of these anomalies. Avoidability in a field of these is kinda difficult. Now moving on to artifacts, it does spawn artifacts, so it gets points for that. The thing is, if you want to pick up that artifact, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna burn for that artifact because you're gonna have to go through the fire to yoink it. And that just sucks, you know, it sucks. Moving on to visibility, this is one of the hardest anomalies to spot in the game. The good thing is it doesn't spawn randomly that much, and it mostly clustered up in anomalies field. You might see some around the zone, but it's usually accompanied by burned grass or burning scorched ground around it, so you're not as surprised about the presence of the burning anomaly there. The only cue it gives you before it burns you is just hot air. It's barely visible. The visibility on it sucks balls, okay? It sucks balls. Okay, which coming down to the fifth, my personal experience, my opinion, this anomaly doesn't hurt as much. It's mostly damage over time. The annoying factor of the damage is it's everywhere around the anomaly because it's fucking hot. It's hard to see, but it does spawn artifacts and it's fairly easy to not die to this anomaly, which brings me to my conclusion that the burner anomaly gets the C tier. Okay, next and last fire anomaly is the Volcano. Now most of these anomalies in Stalker 2 don't have official names, it feels like. Maybe I'm missing something, but I just named them by how I feel like, and I think it's pretty obvious and you guys will understand. Now the Volcano anomaly is that fire anomaly which spews hot lava, it seems, when you get in its proximity. Like a hose, it's hosing you down with hot gooey magma, and it's pretty annoying. Now damage wise, it does hurt, not a lot. It is mostly damage over time. As long as you stand in it, you're gonna get damaged. If you're not standing in it, you won't get damage, but it does burn you. And now on avoidability, you can throw bolts all you want. The moment you go into the proximity, it's gonna choose to shoot the hot steamy magma right in your face, and it's gonna forget about all the bolts you throw in it. So avoidability is just running through it. If you fast enough and the magma doesn't hit you, you're good. But that's the only thing you can do. You can just run through it and pray it won't hit you. Now artifacts wise, I didn't see a lot of artifacts spawn in volcanoes. They're mostly accompanied by burner anomalies, which do spawn the artifacts. Their sole purpose is just to make the anomaly field more annoying for you to traverse. Visibility wise, they're easy to see. It's just a little flamey hole in the ground. It looks like a pimple. They do sometimes spawn on a vertical surface, which makes them kind of sneaky, but most of these anomalies are on the ground. They're next to burner anomalies. They're not just random, and they're easy to spot. Now my personal experience with them is they're just annoying. They don't give me any artifact. They cannot be avoided and resetted. You just have to be fast through them, and they're always accompanied by burners. And if you like run through this one because it makes you, you're gonna get burned by the burner. So they're just being annoying. They don't give me anything good. They cannot be. They're just shit. I don't like them. They're poop. They're poopy pants. They're poopy pants, and they're getting the D tier. That's what you get. Poopy pants, McD tier. Next up, we got the Flash Anomaly, or Flashbang, or Spark. Call it however you want. It's a piece of shit. Nobody likes it. I've never heard about anybody who likes this anomaly. It's useless. It hurts. And it just hates you in general. Damage wise, not only it blasts you immediately with damage, it also burns you for damage over time, and it also dazes you and blinds you. It does all the things. Now on avoidability, this thing is the hardest anomaly to avoid because it's gonna spawn in front of you no matter what you do, no matter how many bolts you throw. It's gonna spawn an anomaly for each bolt, and then it's gonna spawn one specially for you. Now I've made a tip in one of my tip videos, which you can like check out over here, about how to avoid this flash anomaly. Now artifact wise, it doesn't spawn any artifacts. It's annoying, it's poop. You don't get anything and you suffer. Visibility wise, you will not see it until it appears in front of your face. There's literally no cue. Only if you randomly throw a bolt into like the open and suddenly you see it appear, you might know. But you just don't go around throwing random bolts unless there's a sudden suspicion of something. And this anomaly doesn't have anything. Now my personal experience and opinion is this is the most annoying anomaly ever. I don't know who designed it over there, but he did a fantastic job in creating the most horrible anomaly in the Stalker universe, in my opinion, ever. And I'm banishing it to F tier, where it belongs. In the gutters. Moving on to the chemical anomalies, we're gonna start off with the gas cloud. Now the gas cloud, like almost all chemical anomalies, does damage over time when you stand in it. It does chemical damage. Now is it a lot of damage? No, not really. It's pretty simple. It's not burny, it's not electric-y, it's chemical. It's pretty weak damage. Now avoidability. You cannot throw bolts at it to do anything to it. It does sometimes spawn in and out of existence, but it has nothing to do with the player. You can just go around it. It doesn't move, it stays in the same place all the time. It just floats there like a big ass fart. Artifact wise, this thing doesn't spawn artifact if it's in an anomaly field, so it's losing points out there already. Now visibility, it's very easy to spot. It's floating in your eye level, so that's always good. The only downside of it is that sometimes it spawns in and out of existence and you think it's not there, and when you walk through it, suddenly it spawns back on you. So that's a little annoying, but most times this doesn't happen, and if it does, the damage is very, very minimal, which brings me to my also experience with these anomalies. They're not annoying. They're pretty decent unless you go into like a scripted gas area and there's like one in the game where you take a lot of damage, and it's not because of these anomaly but because of the area itself. This gets the B tier. Next chemical anomaly is the fruit punch. Damage wise, it's also chemical damage over time, only if you stand in it. It's pretty minor damage. Now avoidability. Usually when you go into an anomaly field filled with fruit punch, it's pretty easy to avoid them because they all have their individual crater. It literally is surrounded with mounds of dirt, and it's just like, don't put your foot in the fizzing green substance which is on the floor. Now artifacts, it does spawn artifact, and it spawns them super easy to grab too, because you just have to go out to the edge when you're safe. It spawns it inside, and your arms are long enough to just reach and take the artifact without even having to run through the anomaly, which is amazing. We love that. Visibility wise, like I said, it's very, very visible. Even at nighttime, it has like a little glow effect to it. It's easy. It's easy, everybody. My opinion is this is one of the best anomalies in the game. It also spawns the chemical tier anomalies. It has good weight reduction artifacts in it, and it also has the best radiation removal artifacts in the game. So we are going to crown it an S tier anomaly, the first one on the list. And the final chemical anomaly, we got the chemical bubble, or just bubble, or call it however you want. It's a fucking floaty ass bubble. Now damage wise, out of all the chemical anomalies, it has the potential to cause you the most damage, because this thing explodes on contact with the bolt or with you, and if it explodes on you, it does extra damage in addition to the damage over time that it does when you're inside the explosion zone. You get twice the damage. You get instant exploding damage, and you get chemical damage over time. Now avoidability, it is pretty easy to avoid, but it depends where. If it's in the open, okay, pretty easy to avoid. If it's in close quarters, and these things, they usually move in like pattern, and you can also notice that if you go too close to it, it kind of moves to your direction until you move away, and it can be kind of tricky. And now moving over to artifacts, this thing does not spawn any artifact. It's just an annoying little chemical bubble. Visibility wise, very easy to see. It's a giant floaty bubble. It's in your eye level, so at least it has that going for it. Now my personal opinion is these bubbles are just the annoying chemical anomaly, which is in addition to other chemical anomalies. It's more annoying than the gas cloud because it moves around, and when it explodes, it actually hurts you a lot and also doesn't give you anything, you know? So fuck it. Fuck it, I say. I was thinking, should it go to C tier? Should it go to D tier? I don't know. I think it's somewhere in between, but if I have to choose, this is a D tier anomaly. Only because it does damage on explosion. It doesn't give you anything, and it's sometimes hard to avoid. Okay, moving on to the gravitational anomalies. Now, sorry about the pictures, but it's really hard to really grasp a gravitational anomaly in a picture. It's really just like air. First gravitational anomaly we got is the glass anomaly. It's that floating static glass that it just spawns in the middle of the road, and you run through it and you cry that you didn't stop on time. You get a little boo-boo on your toe. Okay, damage wise, the glass just gives you bleed. You just run through it and you get a bleed. That's about it. The longer you're in the glass, the harder the bleed goes, but that's just how bleeds work. If you don't heal them and you get more damage that causes a bleed, just intensifies the bleed. You understand what I'm saying. It doesn't do any damage besides the bleeding. Moving to avoidability, this anomaly is pretty easy to avoid. You can see the boundaries of it. You can see where it starts, you can see where it ends, and you can always crouch or slow walk, which is just like walk and now run through it, and you won't get any bleeds. You can literally just move slowly through the anomaly and not get any bleeds. So avoidability wise, this thing is the bomb. You don't even have to throw a bolt in it. Now moving over to artifacts. This anomaly, if it's placed in a gravitational anomaly field, does spawn artifacts. It's good because you can easily yoink them. You just go slowly into the anomaly and you yoink. You don't have to throw a bolt, you don't have to time anything, you don't have to rush through it. You just go in slowly, the artifact spawns, you yoink it, and you go out as slow as you came in. Easy peasy. Visibility wise, this anomaly sometimes might be difficult because you're like sprinting on the road, running to your objective. Suddenly, it's in front of you and you're like, ooh, and then you got some bleeds, okay? It happened to all of us, and don't lie to me. And in a fight, it stops bullets. You can use it as full body cover if you got into a fight, because bullets do not go through that anomaly. It's a thinker. Okay, I'll have to go with A tier. It's an A plus anomaly. It's almost an S. The only reason it's not an S anomaly is because of the visibility penalty. It's sometimes very hard to see, and it causes you damage to equipment, which is pretty shit. Even if you go slowly through it, it still damages your equipment. So that's why it's an A tier and not an S tier. Next gravitational anomaly is the Springboard. That was the name in the previous games. It's basically just a big block of gravitational force, which is gonna crush you if you touch it and push you away. Now damage wise, it does a lot of damage. It does it instantly and it hurts, and also it pushes you, which is annoying. Now avoidability is not that difficult, but there are some tricks to it. You can throw a bolt in it, it's gonna reset it. But the thing with this anomaly is it's so transparent, and it's really hard to understand where is the no-no zone and where is the okay zone, because sometimes I just throw a bolt in it and go through, and I'm thinking that I went all the way through, and then it reappears and still somehow slams me. Or I try to go around it and it seems like it's the end, but somehow I still touch it. I don't know, for me the avoidability of it is kind of difficult. On the artifact side, it does spawn artifacts. You do have to throw the bolt, yoink the artifact, and like I said, it's sometimes tricky to avoid, but it does spawn artifacts, which is a good thing. Next up, visibility, sometimes hard to see. Like I said, you can see that it's there, but seeing where it starts and where it ends, it's kind of tricky because, you know, it's all two-dimensional and it's translucent. It's kind of annoying. If I sum it all up, I had kind of an annoying experience with this gravitational anomaly. This is the gravitational anomaly which hurt me the most, just because of the instant explosion it does and the pushing you around and the not knowing where it is exactly kind of threw me off. Now I'm gonna give it a C tier because it does have benefits. It does spawn artifacts and you can reset it with the bolt, but the downsides of visibility and avoidability are there, at least for me, and C tier is where it belongs. Okay, next anomaly is the Whirligig. It's not just a picture of a bush. It's hard to see. Okay, we're gonna get to it. Okay, now damage wise, this anomaly hurts. It does more damage than the Springboard most likely, and it sucks you in. It moves you everywhere, and it's just not nice to get trapped in it. But if we move to the avoidability parameter and we really think about it, if you throw a bolt, it resets the anomaly. It takes a bunch of time until it actually does the entire cycle and then it resets, but it does reset. Also, there's a trick that if you get sucked into one, and you just like try to W shift and jump out of there, like sprint jump out of it while it sucks you in, you can just jump out of it unscathed. And also it spawns artifacts, and you can throw a bolt, you wait for the cycle, and you yoink the artifact. Visibility wise, this is one of the hardest anomalies to see in the game. Like the burner, it has like a pulsing kind of radiance to it, but it's very weak, and all you see is leaves flying around, and it's not even that many leaves. It made me paranoid, okay? I walk through the zone and I see like wind carrying some leaves, and I immediately get PTSD of this anomaly. But no, it's just wind carrying some leaves, and I know it happened to you. So the visibility is not great, and it gives you PTSD when you see leaves flying in the air, which is a minus in my book. Now going to my experience, my opinion, yeah, the visibility is non-existent. Yes, the damage is pretty strong, but it does give you artifacts and you can jump out of it, which will save you from getting damage. So my verdict is B tier. This is a B tier anomaly because it hurts and visibility sucks. So the last two gravitational anomalies are pretty nice, non-damage anomalies. They're basically what I would call utility anomalies. The first of which is the lift. And the lift is the one that carries you up in the air, or if you go up in a high building, you can jump down on the lift and you won't break your kneecaps. You can also use it to go up to high places. It doesn't do any damage, it doesn't spawn any anomalies. The visibility is great. The avoidability is also pretty obvious. You can see where it starts, you can see where it ends, and for that I will give it the A tier. We love you, Lift. Keep doing God's honest work. Keep saving kneecaps. And now the last anomaly in this tier list. We have finally made it all the way here. The last anomaly, some people don't even know it exists. I personally call it the Slo-Mo anomaly. It's that anomaly which you go through and it makes everything slow-mo. This anomaly is harmless. It doesn't do any damage. Avoidability, you can't really avoid it because you don't really know where it is until you're inside of it. So avoidability and visibility are kinda shit. Artifacts, it does not spawn, but also damage, it does not do. How you can utilize it and why it won't be like a shitty tier anomaly is because when you shoot bullets for it, or somebody shoots you through it, the bullets stop for like a second, or they don't really stop, but they slow down before they continue through the anomaly. So you can kinda use it as a shield. It's not like a good cover like the glass, which is impenetrable, but you can see the enemy bullets coming and you can move out of the way. And because it's a good utility anomaly, it's gonna go to the B tier. Okay guys, now this was my tier list of anomalies for Stalker 2. If you agree with me, that's awesome. If you don't agree with me, that's also awesome. I want to hear why. Where would you place each individual anomaly on the tier list? I don't know. It's only you can know. You want to share? I would love that. Please write it in the comments. Maybe you're a crazy person and you think Flash is an S tier anomaly because it burns your eyes out and seeing the zone is a sin. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I remind you, please like and subscribe the video. I want to hear your thoughts down below. And as always, thank you very much. And I see you all in the next video. Peace.